he found out that the numbers do not match, and he's not that interested in it. I think it looks like it's been sitting here, what do you want to say, 40 years, 30 years? Oh.
I changed my mind.
I think maybe we should bring that home. Maybe try to do a wheel it run on that. Yeah, get some RPMs out of it. We do that, then it'll fly. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, we're going to continue on this late 60s VW bus engine that was dug out of a edge of a barn that was kind of like out in the weather. Can you tell? And it had a tarp over the top of it. Went through it and tried to get it to run. It was running on one cylinder, if you want to call it running, but it ended up popping the valve covers off after doing a compression test because only one cylinder had compression. So this one, the valve is right apart. The keeper is not on it. The keepers were laying in the bottom of the valve cover, so that valve is not doing anything, just kind of flopping in the breeze. And then we took a peek at the other side, and the rocker assembly was rotted and rusted together. Popped that side off and started tapping with a plastic mallet on the top of the valves to see how they were. And that one extended itself out. There how it's taller than the other ones. Well, that's not good. That's because the head of the valve broke off and fell down into the engine when we were doing that. So it's got to come apart. You cannot rotate the engine around anymore because of that. But let's go see what happened. Yay! I don't see too much water. A little bit of hinting of it in that. Just crappy looking. Look at the rest of this. That was underground a little bit. Gonna knock some of that crap off. Then I gotta get that thermostat disconnected because that goes right through to that big black fan shroud there for us to be able to lift that up and out of the way. I have a feeling I'm going to have to do that to every screw on this. That thing is called a shake and brake. Put different bits on it. my tie wrap? It's still there. Yeah, we can see inside. I would say there's been about 35 generations of mice living in it. Chipmunks, rats, take your pick. She's not very clean, is she? All right, let's get the intake manifold out of our way. It'll be next. Then we can get these tins off. We got to get, there's not much left. Not much left of them. Underneath here, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about destroying this. This one's already shot. Underneath here, there's 2 screws that make this heat crossover attached to the exhaust. I gotta get them off. This hunk of metal is screaming tetanus shot, so I even put gloves on. So up front, this is where a muffler would have been. This would have been a muffler, but there's not much left of it on either side. I can try to get those nuts off. Here's the ones I got to break. I can literally just break these right off because it's for the muffler that they're threaded into. The top will just have a clearance hole, so it won't hurt the intake manifold. We're just gonna cut those right off. There's nothing left of that nut, so I'm going in with a chisel, try to get it to turn. It's gonna take a while. See if we get that to break free. Have to grind the heads off that side. One piece closer. This decided I was shooting fire out. I took the rest of that muffler off of there. Yeah. I think somebody found a home in there, huh? Look at that. That's where the water went in. I actually think it probably filled the cylinders up. I'm surprised it actually turned over. I was able to go and do that. Again, we're going to go find out in a minute. We're almost at the point where we get the heads off. Let's go take this skin off. Once this is out of here, which is these 2 screws, then we can take the rockers and the assemblies off. Hopefully the heads will come off. Sometimes I want to take the jugs with it. So I think somebody's been here before us because we have a broken fin here and a broken fin here. And it's probably from someone trying to pry on it. That's just a guess on my part though. I'm gonna go get the vacuum some of the crap out of the top of here a little bit. And we'll get the head rocker shafts off and the head bolts out. See if that head will de-head itself. We're going in. Here's that first one, number 4 cylinder. Actually broke the back of the keeper. And this was like that for a long time because the keeper was like stuck down in the mud in the corner down there. But yeah, that's I don't know, it probably broke just from running and hammering for a long period of time. The valve may be bent over inside there. Let's go get ourselves a 15 and buzz the cylinder heads off. I'd say it's time for the beatings to begin. Let's see if we get a little tension on it. Moving, that's a good sign. We're in. Want to see? Let's go over to the bench, take a look at the head. Look at the cylinder first. There's like a bunch of wax right there from the valve hitting it, staying open. And then this one had no compression as far as no tension on the cylinder head. There's a break there. So yeah, somebody's definitely been in here before us with all these being busted off. And it was cylinder head was not torqued on this one, so this one had a ton of blow by. So all this black is that you see here, that's exhaust. Every time it would fire, it was literally leaking out of here instead of going through the combustion chamber and pushing the piston back down. It's called blow by. There's no head gasket. It's just the steel into the aluminum. We'll wipe them out later, take a look at how they look. Let's go over to the cylinder head. I don't know if it's bent. Hard to say. Definitely bound up though. This is the only cylinder that was running. I think you can see all the blow by, see all the crap that was on there. So no matter what, that was junk. Let's go whack that with a mallet, see if it goes back in. Like whack-a-mole. They go back in. It's definitely bent. You can see the air gap around that. So that cylinder was capooshed for a while. Look at the hammering that it took where the spring seat is. It was just everything flapping around in there. It must have sounded like a freight train. Let's go take a look at the other side. That's the one the valve fell off. It's getting late in the day. Let me know if it shows. Yeah, that was faster. Let's see if this decides to come free as easy as the other one did. That's what I was afraid of. I think that side broke loose. This one's hanging on though. I need to get where you are, strike from this side, and I'll bring you back when I get the crack loose. I think this cylinder, the jug's going to come with it. That's okay. Yeah, there we go. What are you looking over there for? See why I'm giggling? So, that was going to be an issue. Look at that, huh? Clean brake. Is it bent? Was it bent? He smashes into the piston. I get a better light in there. Looks like there is. I'll flip that over. That's the wrong one. Wait a minute. Probably saying the same thing. Get that jug off of there. Should do it without cracking it. It needs a little more persuasion. Watch your toes. There, it's off. And shorter. Let's go take a peek in on there. Yeah, definitely made a clean break. I caused that, but I don't know for what reasoning me tapping on it caused it to do that. I do think that's a cylinder that took on all the water. Let's go see what the... Can we get down low enough? Yeah, I don't see anything there. I don't think I was hitting the piston when it was coming, when I was drawing it in. I wonder if it was just binding there before while I was cranking it over. That cell looks pretty cruddy. Look at the carbon crap on that one. But that one had no compression too, correct? Yeah, because we only had number 3 cylinder that had compression. So this cylinder was also dead. But I think it was dead because the rockers were frozen, holding them in the open position. Look how stuck that cylinder was on there. Too bad. I cracked the skirt when I was trying to get it off of there, and then I mentally cracked. Let's go clean up one of the bores and take a look at how the cylinders actually are and how that piston is on the one next to it. At first, I looked at that piston. It's gotten hot. It definitely was cooked somewhat. Let's go. Look at that. Go get a little lower look at that cylinder. Can you see? tilt that up there. There you go. See, we had a lot of blow by right there too. There's a big burn on the side. I think see some exiting right here. Yeah, it's definitely got some mileage on it. I think it overheated though. I think that was probably what happened to it. It may have had a mouse nest in its past, and it caused the issue on the other side with the keeper falling off. I bound the valve up, overheated, and everything kind of bound on it. Caused the outside to stick, and then they just took it out of service after that. But it looked like it was burning up for a while. You can definitely see it's had some heat. And a lot of times too, when you see the cylinder head pull away, like that I talked about, and getting a blow by, and there's no tension, a couple of things happen. Either the studs pull out of the block, or the they get hot and everything expands at different rates, and then it causes the blow by. Everything kind of stretches out while it's hot, and it no longer has the proper tension for the cylinder head holding back on it. I wouldn't say they're terrible. Yeah, I just got some hammering right there. So what are we going to do with it? Not sure. I have a couple other engines, so it's not like I'm in dire need to have this one assembled. Pretty much everything on it is junk. The distributor may work. That's about it. Generator might be good. The thermostat might be good. All the tins are shot. There's not a redeeming one on there. The intake manifold, you got to blow through to see if air can go underneath the bottom passage, if that's clogged or not. That might be savable. And the pulleys and everything are all junk and rotted and bent. So that front one is bent. So let's go. Put you in the stand. We're going to take a screwdriver. We're going to check the end play of the crank down below and see how the bottom end is. So bottom end play is how much the crank moves from side to side. You can kind of get a general idea how sloppy it is. So you can pop a screwdriver on each side. I'm just going to quickly feel what we got. That feels like quite a bit. Yeah. It's pretty sloppy. Let me go see if I can go put a gauge on. We'll get an actual number on it. But I figure it seems like it's quite a bit over what it should be. Well guys, I have my magnetic base here, but I do not have the gauge that goes on the end of it. It's at my house, I think. So with that, I think we're going to go call it. We pretty much know it's trashed. The bottom end may be able to be used over again. The fact that it's a B case is helpful because it is kind of a universal case. You can either put it in a Beetle or a bus. Doesn't really matter. But it just pretty much needs everything. Whether I would put it together or not, I have quite a few other engines that are in much better shape. So honestly, to concentrate on this when I know I have better candidates to make a better engine out of for the long run would be kind of foolish. I'd rather put the time and effort into one of those, and that's what I will do. But it was fun to go take this one apart anyway, to go figure out what happened to it, a little bit of back history, where it died and why it was taken out. And you know, lost the valve on number 4. And again, looks like somebody tried getting in there and prying in there. At one time, it was already apart. And then no compression because it had none of the cylinders were tight. The one of them, it was backed right off. Wasn't even tightened down on it. So my guess is it really did get overheated and cooked pretty good. All right, guys. So at that, I'm gonna sign off and thank you all for hanging out with me and making a mess in the garage. But you know, the worst things we could be doing, right? I'll pick through the cherry pieces, and I think the rest of it's gonna end up in the metal. It's gonna end up in purgatory, which is the dump trailer that gets all the old pieces of metal thrown into it, but not quite thrown out yet until you have to go dump the trailer. So I could always go back and steal a bit off of it or take it back out if I need to. All right, guys, enough info. With that, thanks for hanging out with me, having a little bit of fun, wrenching on rusty junk and trying to make fire. Till then, later. So hidden back in here, outer sanctum of the horde, under all that snow and car covers, these VW engine parts for $1,600. Yes, believe it or not. I may want to go get a shovel because they're under that right there. Well, that's a tad dark now, isn't it? In here, so we have exhaust, rear tin, a fan shroud. There's cylinder heads somewhere. Yeah, so we get a number 1. And 115, 120.